Welcome to Hindustan Times. My name is Jayashree Nandi. I write on environmental issues for Hindustan Times. We have with us today Pragya Kapoor, who is an actress, a producer, and an environmentalist. Hi, Pragya. Welcome to the HT Environment Conclave.
Hi, Jayashree. Thank you so much for having me.
Pragya, so we just wanted you to share your experiences of firstly you have spoken in the past of a waste lifestyle, a minimalist kind of a lifestyle. What does it mean? How do you do that? Pragya, can you hear me? I think we've lost Pragya for a bit. Um, so Pragya has spoken in the past about a zero waste lifestyle, and I was very excited to hear from her what exactly does that mean, and how does she incorporate these concepts in her life. But then we've lost her, so we are trying to get in touch
Hi.
with her. So,
Hi.
hi,
I
Pragya.
don't know, that my
Fantastic. Okay.
network? I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lost
No
my.
problem. No problem. Go
I'm,
ahead.
yes, sorry. I didn't hear your whole question. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying that you have spoken in the past about a zero waste lifestyle, a minimalist kind of a lifestyle. What does it mean? How do you do that?
So I think it means different things for different people. Uh, for me, the main thing would be that you do your best at living a sustainable lifestyle as much as you can, because we are all in very different, walks of life. And I think the most important part of it is to just be conscious about everything that you do, everything that you buy, and just keep questioning yourself that do I actually need this, can I be without it? um, Overall, if you look at a zero waste lifestyle, I would say that just be conscious about how you dispose your waste and everything that you buy. Like, before buying anything, just ask yourself, how do I dispose this whenever time comes? And I would also say that for me, it's actually taken a turn, because I think I used to be someone who used to consume a lot, and then I have kind of just put a break on that, and I always, make sure that I only buy things that I need. I only use things that I can responsibly dispose. So that's kind of what it means for me. But I know there are a lot of people who are at a different path, where they are, like, living an extremely zero waste life, and a complete minimalist, where they just have a few clothes that they keep rotating and reusing. um, I mean, it's, again, for me, it's about the journey of getting there. It is not about being 100% zero waste, because currently the world is not built that way. But the aim should be to always push towards it and minimize as much as you can. um, Consumption is a huge issue currently, where we are just consuming mindlessly. We are not being mindful at all about what we are buying, when we are buying, how we are consuming. Food wastage is another, like, huge issue that we are facing. So it's not just about what you buy, it's about consumption overall. We need to minimize, because currently the way the world is going, we are not able to sustain the kind of lifestyle living.
Pragya, it's very interesting that you are in the entertainment industry, and unknowingly, the industry also promotes certain kinds of consumption. For example, there is fashion, and youngsters want to buy, or depending on the fashion trends, they want to buy a lot of different clothes, and keep changing the trends very often. So how do you think, or when did you have this realization? And in terms of clothing, or in terms of buying things, how have you sort of moderated your consumption?
So I remember, growing up, one always used to look up to all these fashion magazines and all these people in the magazines and in movies. and you always wanted to somewhere be like them, have the kind of clothes and have the kind of homes and the lifestyle that they do have. And I think I, as any other youngster, were highly affected of it, by the the media and what the media was telling me. And I remember I started working very early in life. I remember I was about 15 years old, and used to just what I just used to work just to buy clothes. That was the only reason I worked, because every you'll go out every weekend for like a party or like a dinner, and it was always a conversation of what are you gonna wear. And I remember my entire pay used to go towards buying new clothes so I could wear something new. And I think it took me quite some time to get over that, because like you said, the kind of industry I am in, it's all about how you look and what you're wearing, which car you drive, uh, where your home is. And uh, it is actually a very unsettling lifestyle, because you are constantly trying to impress a society which, you know, which actually don't really care. It's extremely high to live up to those kind of standards. And I think because I had the realization that I had towards where the world is going and towards consumption, I feel somewhere I was lucky to just get off that race of how to look and what to wear, and just step back and say that, hey, you know what, that lifestyle and the way we are portraying that lifestyle is not good, and it's affecting people. I know it's affected me as a youngster, and I used to have a really tough time trying to fit in and look a certain way. So I'm extremely happy that I had that realization. And now if you look at it, and I mean, being in this industry, I try my level best to just wear the clothes I have wherever I step out. I try to, promote sustainable brands and wear those rather than, uh, you know, all these high fashion and, extremely expensive brands. Um, and I think we as an industry have a very big responsibility towards changing the way the youth especially are looking upon consumption, because they look at us, they look at our Instagram handles, for example, and they look at the kind of following we have, and then we are posting photos of what we are wearing, where we are traveling, how we are traveling. um, and it's creating this false image of what kind of a life we live. That is just, I mean, I don't believe it's real. I don't believe anyone lives that way um, in a day-to-day life, but that's what we are depicting. And because we are depicting that, people are assuming that that's how life is. But if you look at it, it's actually not as glamorous. It's just for show. That's why it's showbiz, right? So I think we have a huge responsibility to change that. I'm trying my level best to portray a different picture where I'm just re-wearing what I have, and I'm talking about what I'm wearing. I might not have the most sustainable wardrobe currently, because um, I have a lot of items that I have bought in the past that I'm not willing to just throw that away, because someone has worked hours to make those clothes, right? So I can't just like I don't want to show that I am an environmentalist. I don't want to like just do it for the heck of showcasing that I am sustainable. I'm going to use what I have, and I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to respect it, and I'm going to avoid buying things that I do not need, and I'm going to try and consume less. That's how I'm looking at it, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to hopefully, share that experience with people, to realize that, hey, you do not need to have that fancy car, you do not need to fly private, you do not need to have these fancy clothes to be happy, because it's not linked at all. It's how you feel about yourself, and that's an internal journey which you have to experience for yourself. So I mean, I do hope that it changes in our industry. I'm seeing it changing in Hollywood a bit, where you have certain actors re-wearing the clothes that they have worn at different red carpet events. I don't think it's really happened much in India yet, but I do hope that celebrities and stylists understand the importance of re-wearing and reusing. It is changing. There is definitely a cultural change. I see a lot of secondhand stores coming up. I see a lot of uh, rent an outfit kind of pop-ups coming up. So I think it's changing for sure, but it just needs, I think we as an industry can definitely give it a push, because we are somewhere pushing down this narrative that it's cool to wear something new every time you step out. It's, if you don't do it, you're not good enough. That's a message that we are sending out, and I don't think that's fair, and it's not kind, because what's happening is, like how I in my youth spent all my money on clothes rather than saving that and building my wealth, a lot of other youngsters are doing the same thing, and they are now in huge debts, trying to sustain a certain lifestyle that is I mean, it doesn't matter how much you put into it, it's never going to be enough, rather than actually building a stable foundation for themselves, and picking themselves up, and focusing on the more important things in life. Like, for example, like I'm from Sweden, and just to say that, like, our prime minister travels in the metro. you know it is so common, it's so normal. You'll have our actors in Sweden, our TV presenters, they're all traveling by public transport, and it's not a big deal, and people don't look at them as, oh god, look at these stars or these big people. They're just looking like regular people doing their job, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's just a job, and they are trying to do it at the best of their ability.
Pragya, don't you feel a little lonely in your effort? You have a very honest effort at just being yourself and being comfortable with the person you are. In the showbiz industry, do you feel a little left out at times, and what is the response from the industry in general to your attitude?
I Initially, yes. Initially, it was really tough in terms of, uh, you know, wanting to fit in and trying to fit in, but not really feeling it from within. Um, I do think I had a little bit of trouble fitting in, because I was never someone who was really into fashion or really knew about fashion. And then, you're going to these fancy parties and these high society parties, and you're uh, not really looking the part. And I think I got that confidence a little later in life, where I said that, what, it doesn't matter. This is who I am. And I have to accept myself. And only if I do that, will other people do. And I think that happened, because at some point, people now know that, Pragya will not wear makeup and come to a party, and she will maybe wear an outfit she wore 2 days ago, and it's not a big deal anymore. I think it's all about how you feel about yourself, and if you show that confidence and comfort in your skin, people will automatically be attracted to you and accept you for who you are. That's something I wish we realized much earlier in life, as youngsters, because as teenagers, you're always trying to fit in, and be trying to figure out who you are, and at the same time maybe being someone you're not, just to please a certain group of people. And in that process, you somewhere lose yourself. And I think I did have that experience initially, where I found it extremely tough to just be myself, and be accepted for who I was. um, but I think with time, it's definitely changed. People are extremely kind and loving, and accepting of who I am and how I am. People know that this is how she is, and I think that's a realization, which is very important to have for anyone, that you will be loved and accepted for who you are, and you should just be true to yourself.
Pragya, you also have an NGO called Ek Saath, the Earth Foundation. And considering that you have very different views on minimalism and on being comfortable with yourself, you have a huge influence on the youth. What is your message to them? How do you work with them? How do you involve them in this sort of lifestyle?
So now Iksat is just turning 2 actually in the next couple of days, and we have just launched our volunteer program, and I hope with that we are going to get in a lot of youth volunteers who are then going to be a part of this, progress of changing towards a more sustainable lifestyle and being kinder towards one another and the planet. So I'm hoping that with that program, we are going to be able to reach out to more of the youth, and embed these kind of values in their lifestyle, and who they are going to grow up to be, and the kind of work they will do in the future. Um, Having that said, Eksat, it was started to support people working on ground. you know there are a lot of amazing people out there doing fantastic work on a grassroots level, and Iksat was my way of supporting them, because what happens when you're on ground, it's extremely difficult to, at the same time, you have to do like fundraising, and you have to do all your your accounting work and all your reports. It's a lot for someone who's actually on ground to manage both. So that's where I felt that I could help out, because me, I mean, I as a person don't have the bandwidth to always be on ground. I have a business to run, I have a family to take care of. So how can I can support the people that are already doing the work. I can help them out and make sure that they have the resources and the tools they require to do their job without having to worry about where the funds are going to come from, or how they're going to make the report. So that's the reason I started Iksat, to build that gap. And we do work a lot with the youth. Those are the most volunteers that we get, and the people working on ground, they're mostly these young, really cool people, just giving hours of their life and dedicating their life to give back. And it's extremely inspiring, especially for someone like me, who, like, wish I was like that when I was their age. And to know that, what, I can still be better, I can do better, I can there's always things you can improve on, whether it comes to your zero waste lifestyle and minimalism. There's always things you can change. And it's just so nice to meet a fresh set of people who inspire you, and help you create change within yourself, and at the same time, you're doing it together. So it's a nice little community that we have started. um, it was a very, like, small idea initially. I didn't expect it to grow so fast, and become as big as it has. So yeah, it's been a very rewarding journey, and I'm feeling extremely satisfied, because even though I cannot always be on ground, I know I'm being able to support the people who are on ground. And some way, there is always an exchange of ideas and creativity between us, and it's just really fulfilling, and I'm really happy that I actually went on and started it.
What are your future plans? I mean, clearly this is the future. The lifestyle you're leading is what everyone is supposed to do, simply because we're running out of time to deal with the crisis. So what are your future plans? Do you plan to sort of involve the lifestyle issue in your organization also? How do you plan to go about it?
Um, so I mean, except is anyway. Currently, we are a zero waste company, an NGO, and even Guy in the Sky Pictures is currently. We are also making sure that we are minimizing our waste as much as we can, not only in our office but even in our films. For Iksat, currently we are trying to expand with our waste collection centers. We are building more in Himachal Pradesh, and we are also looking at other states. In and around the area. So the idea is to keep doing that, and keep including people on our way. The reason why I called it Ek Saath was because I don't think anyone can do anything on their own. We have to come together. Only then can we see change. We are stronger together. um, and yeah, that's the current plan. We have a cleanup drive coming up now on Saturday, this Saturday in fact, and we have another tree plantation drive coming up on Sunday. So there's always something or the other happening that we are working towards. And more than just having a cleanup drive. It's about the community that we are building, the kind of people we are involving, and for them to know that there are other people out there like them, like-minded, who feel the same way. And it's just about supporting each other. So currently for Iksat, the plan is just to continue ahead and expand in the journey that we currently are on. um, in my own home, I mean, we are always improving, we're always looking for new uh, products to use, companies to support, to minimize the amount of waste we create. um, I'm seeing it in my children as well, the way they are. And it's not like I'm uh, forcing my values down on them. They are just observing and seeing that they are themselves, realizing and understanding, and then making certain decisions in their life. So I mean, for me, I see the future is really bright, because I see it not only in my children, I see it in their friends. I see it in, their school friends as well. And I do believe that if we just as parents nurture this feeling that the next generation is carrying towards the environment, they are highly, highly sensitive towards what's happening around them. They can see it and they can sense it. And I think as a parent and as a grown up, it's just our job to, you know, cherish and nourish that feeling inside them. So when they grow up, those values are still instilled in them. So that's me as a parent. That's what we're doing at Iksat. And then Guy in the Sky Pictures, we are trying now to see how we, through our storytelling, can tell stories that are more sensitive towards people, but also the planet. And at the same time, do it in a way where we are, uh, you know, creating the least amount of impact as much as we can on the planet while doing that. So it's a step by step process. We are trying, we're figuring our way with every film that we make and every story that we tell, that how can we actually make a difference. Um, I feel even if you're making a commercial film which is meant to entertain, you can still send home a positive message in one way or the other that could, help people. And so that's our journey. That's what we are looking into. We are trying to make responsible films and responsible cinema. And yeah, that's where we are at currently.
That's actually wonderful, and what a hopeful note to end this conversation with. You're seeing even children, sort of follow, and in fact, children do it naturally. It comes to them naturally because
Absolutely.
they don't try to pretend, and that happens much later when you're a teenager. So yeah, Pragya, thank you so much. This was actually fascinating and one of the most interesting sessions of this conclave. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeshri. Thank you so much for having me.
Uh,